Hello, Aries, and welcome to your November forecast. I hope everybody's doing great. It's good to see you. We have Apollo chilling out in the background, getting ready for us to get started today. So without any further delay, I just want to set up the expectations for today's reading. As always, this can be used for sun, rising, and moon. It's going to help you navigate through the month ahead. I appreciate your patience this month. You'll be the first when I do the December video, so thank you in advance. Let's get straight into channeled messages. As I meditated on your sign today, what I picked up on was an image of a cactus. And for me, this is, there are two things here. First of all, adaptability, because a cactus has learned to thrive in situations where other things cannot. And this has been a theme as I've been looking at all of the November videos. But just for an example, like all of the little prickles on a cactus, they evolved from leaves. And they do still provide shade for that cactus, but it's not in the same way that leaves would on a tree. And I believe that the cactus itself, it's like one sort of like stem. So really interesting how a plant has learned to adapt. And just as that very out-of-the-box wild adaptation that we just talked about exists in the plant world, there may be things that are coming through in your life right now that require you to let go of rigid ways of thinking and really start to embrace something different, maybe even radically different. A nice way to think about this is that in order to grow, you have to change. Change is one of those universal constants, but as humans, sometimes we just like to cling to what's familiar. But by getting outside of that familiarity, you might be able to connect with a really great growth opportunity. So I hope that that resonates for some of you. The other thing here is the cactus has the ability to basically be flexible with how much available resources are around it, namely in how much water it's receiving. So it can expand when there's a lot, it can contract and conserve when there isn't. And so this month, whether you're flourishing or trying to bring in more abundance, if you connect with Six of Pentacles, weighing out the options, being discerning, you're going to have more than enough. And you're going to be able to have that little bit of contingency for when things aren't exactly where you want them. The main thing that I want to help you have this month, though, is an opportunity to thrive. And in a desert, there's a thing known as a super bloom. So let's hope that we can get that for you, where there's more than enough for everybody and you really have a chance to grow. So there we go. Last thing, actually, before we go, the universe wanted one more message to come through, and it's really to have a thick skin, because I think of the cactus and if somebody gives you a critique or just isn't happy with you for whatever reason, take it with a grain of salt, keep working hard, and don't let it take away your shine. All right, now let's shuffle the cards and let's see where the ebbs and flows are, where the opportunities are. Let's try to get you to that moment where there is a super bloom, where there's more than enough. Normally, I would give Apollo a little scratch on the head, but he's sleeping, so let's leave him be. Let's get started in setting intentions and shuffling the cards. So first things first, just close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. On the exhale, let go of any thoughts or energy that you might be bringing into this reading. And imagine that the sun is rising in front of you, and each ray of light is shining on one of your energy points, one of the 7 main energy points in your body. And this is giving you a sense of protection, grounding, and also a connection to source. And as you are connected to this higher power, I'd like us to bring in angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and let's set the intention to receive everything that you need to see in this reading. All right, open your eyes. Let's get started. Already seeing potential partnerships coming through. I've only pulled 3 cards, but it's all court cards, so there's a lot of people coming in and out of your life at the moment. And I actually quite like where the abundance is. So this looks like it might be a period where things are starting to grow, which is great. I actually see, before I even get too far, like 2 cards of surprise, and the whole spread is pretty much like abundance and opportunity. Some of you are surprising yourself this month, or you may be second guessing something. Try not to do that. We'll talk more in just a second, but I'm already getting downloads. Yeah, sometimes the Tower is change for the good or change for the better. All right, let's get started. I love that we have a card of changing perspective. This actually is like the Hanged Man, right? We have the bird hanging upside down. The card is upright. This is definitely Hanged Man energy. And I always like to remind people that even though it's called the Hanged Man, it doesn't necessarily mean things aren't okay. The Hanged Man connects to a myth in Nordic mythology where Odin hangs from the Tree of Knowledge, and he sacrifices some time, some energy, a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears in order to learn the secrets of the runes. But he has to look at things from a new perspective. And this upside down crow is doing exactly that. It's choosing to look at the sky. It's like a blue sky opportunity, right? So you may feel frustrated in the beginning part of this month because there's the illusion that nothing's happening. And we see the illusion here in these two cards. The eyes and ears are closed. We have both of the blindfolds. But look at what's around the blindfolds. Money and opportunity, new friendship, partnership, people, new ideas, things starting to manifest in real time. And it's almost like you have to make a radical move in a direction and adapt. And that's kind of like we were talking about a cactus. Because I've used it as a totem before, I had to learn what the sort of ridges were. And so when things get really, really good in the desert, like a lot of rain, a monsoon, it swells so that it can drink it up and store it for another day. I feel like you might be going through a swell this month where there's a lot of stuff coming through. And if you were in a limited sort of mentality, and you were thinking like, I'm not going to have enough or this isn't going to last, we need to erase that and just allow yourself now to go with the flow of movement, abundance, and opportunity. And don't wait for another shoe to fall. You can still have a contingency on the side. It's always good to have insurance, but also start to open yourself up that it doesn't have to be that way anymore. Like you don't have to have these sort of starts and stops constantly. This is also asking you, before you make a major decision, to pause, check in internally, make sure that you still feel good about it, and make sure that you've done the research, you've talked to other people, that you haven't missed something. And that's where the Hanged Man can help us. So it's a necessary pause or delay before a major shift happens. And typically there's like a halo around the head of the Hanged Man, and that is the gained knowledge through the pause, through the necessary sort of stopping of action here. So take a moment, take a day, sleep on a major decision, make sure that you have everything that you need, and look at the little dandelions. It looks like a dandelion anyway. To me, that represents wish fulfillment. And again, as we're starting to look at this spread, we can see that there is something that's starting to manifest in real time. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and get to the centermost card, Queen of Pentacles. She has a green thumb. Anything that she puts her time, attention, and energy in, she's able to make it grow. And this is also a card of birthing, creating, developing. So when it comes to personal growth, business growth, or just relationships in general, she's magical. She makes things happen. Loyal, hardworking, dependable, rich in knowledge, rich in resources, and it's also reminding you that you are the source. You can actually, for some of you, this represents the entrepreneurial spirit that you might have, or maybe even the desire to want to step up to the next level. I like this. I like what I'm seeing here, and it's grounded in potential. So I see your potential, and I believe in you. I hope you can do the same for yourself. This also can represent literally deciding to get started in a family, maybe having a baby or getting married or buying your first house. There's something, especially with the Ten of Pentacles, which is right by it, that's very connected to putting down some roots. So I just want to confirm that. In fact, if we just look at the spread here, we see three of the best cards here in the suit of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles, love, marriage, contracts, also new people coming in, also the home. And this is a very home-oriented card. This is an independent and a self-sufficient card, Nine of Pentacles. It takes its time. You take your time to get to this. Normally there's a little snail on it. But the three of these together shows me something that has a lasting foundation, something that can really stand the test of time. And there is a card that is touching all three of these, and it could represent a partnership. This card, of course, is the King of Cups, and it can represent a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But as an aspect of you, Aries, this can be your own creative, empathetic, and really sensitive side that's coming out, and it's starting to allow for all of that abundance that we just saw here. So by opening up your heart, being a little bit more vulnerable, being a little bit more authentic, people can connect with you more, a lot more people maybe than you're used to, and there's more energy, opportunity, and abundance that's coming through. I saw all of these beautiful dandelion seeds here, and that can also represent the wish fulfillment. And so I quite like what we see here. This looks like it's a great period for you, but for some of you, in order to get into this energy we see in health here, the Tower, there's a little bit of recalibration that's happening. So if you're on the heels of some sort of major reset, maybe coming from a challenge in the past and now things are better, there can still be a little bit that you're holding on to, like what's around the corner, or you can take something small and make it large when it doesn't need to be, a fear or anxiety, for instance. So take your time, get your footing, really stay grounded. But so far, I'm seeing opportunity knock, I'm seeing a potential partnership, and I'm seeing you being rewarded for being sensitive and authentic, and those are great things to kick off the month with. All right, as we take a look at the karmic energy here, we see the King of Wands in reverse. And basically, the universe is coming through and saying, don't make something harder than it needs to be. This is kind of like the math meme where you start to worry about every possible thing that could go wrong, or you just start to complicate an otherwise simple idea. So go with your initial instinct. Allow your intuition to light up the possibilities and simply move forward. Because in an upright position, the King of Wands is basically a signal of innovation. He trusts his thought process and moves forward in a bold fashion. So if there was ever anyone in your life that told you to keep your voice down, to do something that was expected, to not make, a scene, this is a moment where the universe is saying, actually, if you can stand out a little bit and do something that isn't expected, but in a very positive way, this can bring in all of the abundance that we saw coming right across the center in the form of Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and Nine of Pentacles, okay? There is a time and a place to be stubborn. You're going to know where that is. So if you need to stand your ground with someone that isn't listening, like creating boundaries, King of Wands reverse is great. If you are in a leadership position and you really need people to hunker down and do what they say they were going to do, this is a great time for that. And if there's something that you believe in and someone else has doubts, okay, all of those are examples of good King of Wands. But the flip side is when you don't trust yourself, or you overthink, or you think so much that you don't initiate action. And so finding the balance in that karmic sort of pattern is going to be the key to success this month. Know when to be stubborn, know when to move forward. There's so much to love here as we look at the Ten of Pentacles. So the position is recent past, and what we see here is the work that you've been doing. Even if you don't see everything in this card yet, it sets you up for this. And what this can represent, as I said earlier, there's a lot of birthing energy. So here we have more of a paternal. You had the maternal at the center, but look at that little baby sparking a newfound sort of like purpose and focus. I'm, lucky enough to have some friends that have children, and I've seen how that can absolutely change everything. You focus on things that you wouldn't normally focus on, the bigger picture. You're putting the energy out of you into something else, and you're focusing on legacy and future and all this other stuff, and it gets you out of your head a little bit. Now, for those of you that have pets, the same thing is true, and we actually see a pet on both of these maternal and paternal cards. So it can be a child, it can be a baby, it can be a project, but when we start to look at something bigger than us, it helps us, right? It helps you see that I don't have to freak out about the little stuff so much. There's something more important than just me. So having a project, having a partner, having a child, having a pet can actually help ground your energy and help you thrive in this moment. But you are being opened up energetically to receive. And this card represents possible money, possible partnership, something that could be coming to fruition. And overall, we see it under these beautiful, what do you call them? the beautiful eaves here, the columns, and that represents this stability, right? And so what you're starting to enter into, again, is much more stable and predictable than what you've left behind. So open yourself up now to not have to always, like I said, worry about something crumbling or falling apart. You have dealt with the karma. It feels like many of you are now ready for something a little bit more stable. There could be a new job for some of you as well, signing on the dotted line. These, like I said earlier, are connected to house and home. It could be a good investment across the board. I like what I see. Now, it's really interesting. There are sibling cards. The Eight of Swords and Two of Swords definitely are one. In the same suit, the Five and the Seven of Swords are kind of like sibling cards. So with these two together, let's talk about what might be coming forth. Typically with Eight of Swords, there is this feeling of the prison of thought. I didn't expect this, or I don't know what to do, or I can't do this. Like there's these limitations that happen in the brain. The Two of Swords can be something that you didn't anticipate. I didn't see that coming. I didn't hear the same thing that you did. So it can be sensory or it can be cognitive. And this one is mostly cognitive, and it's simply cutting off an opportunity because there is fear, doubt, anxiety, and it's using words which we don't want to do, like, I can't do this, I won't do this, I'm not this enough. Let's get away from those. You can, in the moment, say, this is unexpected, but I'm open to this. I'm ready for change. I'm no longer stuck. Even just that mantra, it's starting to open up. My luck is changing. I just talked to Taurus a little bit about this as well. In some of the decks that I've been using, particularly the crow ones and the nature ones, we'll sometimes see a bird in a cage, but there's no top to the cage and the door is open. So if you're ready to leave something or someone, the door is open and it will be easier than you think. This is what's coming through. The hardest part sometimes is saying it's over, right? Whether that translates to I quit, or let's break up, or let's get divorced, or I need to move in a new direction. All of that and then some, but that is actually it's a statement of liberation. So for many of you, it's almost like there's the throat chakra is a little bit blocked, but being able to just get the words out could be really important. And then it opens things up. That's what gets you to the independence. This is a fiercely independent card, the Nine of Pentacles. It's also really rich. And in this moment in time, when you step away from something, and it's not always a relationship, again, it could be a job, what it's going to do is then give you a chance to really focus on what matters. Or it can be a space that you're at where, people just aren't allowing you to shine or be the person that you need to be. Imagine yourself wherever you need or want to be, even if it isn't right in your periphery. Two of Swords, Eight of Swords, you're not seeing it around you. That's okay. That means whatever it is that you might be developing, this is for my business people and entrepreneurs, it will take the market or the world by storm because it's unexpected, it's new, it's fresh. So your fresh perspective is exactly what people need. Thank you, universe. It's all coming together as we're starting to talk through this. So be different, be bold, embrace whatever it is that's unusual about you. That's exactly what the world needs. That's exactly what you need on a soul level right now. And most importantly, this card, which represents you, Page of Swords reversed, helps to counter the karmic energy of the somewhat stubborn or overthinking King of Wands. So this is representing inaction and overthinking, and this is swift action and communication. Yes, let's do it. No, I don't want it. Watch what I'm doing. Like you're actually starting to take action. And because it's a page, it's either in written or verbal form. It could also be a text, but somehow using words to communicate. Unlike wands, it is communicative. So it needs to be text, spoken, or typed, somehow saying what you want to say, but in as few words as possible, concise, brief. The page in reverse is not mincing words, is not using a bunch of flowery language. Yes or no can be complete statements in and of themselves. You can add to them, but they're powerful in and of themselves. So get to the point, create some action, and if you need to edit, revise, or inquire about something, same thing. Ask briefly, get the clarity, then take the next step. As we look in the environment here, there could be someone coming back from the past. The Eight of Cups represents cyclical things that haven't yet been resolved. So the deep past shows a potential fire sign coming into your life, but it can also just be what we were talking about, stagnation, not acting upon something that you need to. So you're dealing with that karmic cycle. This is also a chance for you to do something and do it in a way that you weren't able to before. In other words, a second chance. So you may find that someone is interested in you when you even forgot about them before. So this could be, let's say maybe your resume is on file at a company and they're hiring again, and out of the blue, a recruiter phones you up and says, hey, we have you in our personnel files. You were one of the candidates for consideration before. We're actually hiring and you're perfect for this. And it kind of like takes you by surprise because these cards, you didn't see it coming. Even if you're intuitive, sometimes the universe has a curveball coming in your direction. So some of you are getting a second chance. Some of you are resolving karmic cycles. Some of you may have to say something to someone from the past that you didn't before to clear the way. So there could be, I love you, I'm sorry, or this is over, because we talked about sort of needing to liberate yourself, perhaps. Whatever it is, it's good, and this time it's done and dusted. You shouldn't have to repeat it. This is also a card of vacation and sabbaticals. So for those of you that have a major decision but don't want to make a commitment yet, that's actually a wise way to do it. You could say, I need some time. You could buy yourself a day, a week, a month. Take a vacation, take a leave of absence, take a sabbatical, explore. This literally is showing exploration. Explore the options, do the research, get decisive, and then ultimately we have to get you back into this card, which is action-based. So it's a temporary leave, and then that helps you make up your mind. Some of you are just overdue for vacation, so please take that necessary break. As we're looking at hopes, fears, and opportunities, some of you are just afraid that nobody's going to get you, understand you, see you, that you'll do it and it won't matter. After you've been on the planet for a while and have been through ebbs and flows, ups and downs, successes and failures, you start to realize that in the best way I'm saying this, it doesn't matter or who cares. You're doing something because it feels right. Remember, your power card is a very heart-based King of Cups, and he is touching 10 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. So what people think isn't so important. It isn't something that you can throw away completely, but when it comes to your compass, it shouldn't be the main driver right now. From a health perspective, since we have two blindfolded cards, obviously, if you're ignoring something in your health, you have to deal with it right now. If these cards are also connected to seeing and hearing and you got both of them, it may be time to just check that out if you haven't already. But typically, this is saying don't try to sweep something under the rug, deal with it now. In the house, in the home, and in life, it's also like preventative maintenance, making sure that you replace the roof before it starts leaking, for instance. Always easier to do something before it causes more damage. So that is the main message there. Now, I love that this is your outcome. So we have 3 of Wands, and this is an imminent card. It means that what it is that you're trying to do, it's already started to happen. The lines that are connecting you to your destination, they're already started to sort of like head towards you. It's just a matter of being able to see it, right? So you can see the ships here, you can see the person here. He's looking in the right direction, which is good. But if he were looking over here, or if he were distracted by like looking on his phone or something, he may miss the bigger picture. So that's how these tie together. For some of you, you might have to look at something from the past here. And when I say that, it could be a past project. past correspondence, something that you had overlooked previously, because these cards represent missing something. So if you miss something, go back, look at it now with a fresh set of eyes. Now you can see the opportunity that's always been there. This is especially true for those of you that might have a creative project and you've just been sitting on it. The time wasn't right before, but it is now. So a door is opening. A door of opportunity that was once shut is now open. That's a nice way to help us with the next portion here. We're going to look at the expanded forecast, which is health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin first with health, which is your mind, your body, and your spirit. All right, we have one of the most significant cards in the expanded forecast here in the form of the Tower. Before I turn the camera up and we talk about this, though, a couple of things that are coming to mind. Some of you may say initially, you'll hear yourself saying, I didn't see that coming. But with the Tower, there's typically a bolt of lightning on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card. And so you would see the flash of lightning, you would hear the roll of thunder in advance of the storm. And so there was something, a rumbling of a thought in your mind that maybe you ignored. Now what's happening is your body is speaking up, so you can't ignore it. So this could be an unexpected side effect, for instance, if there's some sort of medication that you're on, or something that is undeniable, an increase in blood pressure, change in blood sugar, change in vision or hearing, since we had the Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords. So whatever it is, it can't be ignored. You must embrace it, you must address it, and by making that change, it's going to help you get back into the stable energy that we see here. It's all ground, it's all earth. So once you do that, you can be stable so that you can allow your ships to start sailing towards you. There's a necessary change that's going on with health, but it feels to me like it is not long lasting. It's just saying, wake up. It's a wake-up call. And as long as you heed the call, you're okay, all right? And this can also be a decision to let someone go or let something go in your life because it destabilizes your foundation. And that's what I'm picking up on here. All right, let's look at some other general energies in the spread. Again, standard disclaimer, I'm a tarot reader, a medium, and an intuitive, but I'm not a doctor. I'll identify where things could be popping up, but you'll work with a professional as needed. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's see what's coming forth. Again, I mentioned hearing and seeing, really important. So if it's been a minute since something has been addressed there, definitely, get that taken care of. Other things that are important with respect to health. For some of you, it's actually just starting a new cycle or habit in your life. You may decide, I want to eat healthier, I want to exercise more, I want to focus on mental health, whatever it is that you want to do. The cool thing with this is it can stick. It's a new habit that has the capacity of sticking and helping you address whatever this is. So a necessary change first, and then a better habit that's going to last. You may also be looking at new places to live. Sometimes the Tower represents a messy environment or a toxic environment. It can be work, it can be a relationship, it can literally be the house that you're living in if it isn't what you need it to be. So we want to address that. And otherwise, most of the cards are pretty good. We're not looking at any other problematic energies here. One last thing, and then we'll move on to wealth, which is this. This can represent migraines or headaches. The reason is stress management. And also for some of you, there may be a resistance, to go and see or talk to somebody. So I just like to encourage you, there's different people that you can talk to, friends, family, and of course, health professionals and mental health professionals. You decide who, but it seems like if you're dealing with that stress, it's going to be really important to address it so that you have the support that you need. Second opinions are also welcome this month when it comes to any major decision, especially health. Now let's move on to wealth, and we have the seahorse here, which is one of my favorite energies. There are 3 words on this one: sacrifice, caretaking, and rigidity. Really interesting. So I feel like some of you have been that central person that gives and gives and gives. We see it in the spread. This is the mama bear of the minor arcana. And then we have a very paternal card coming through here in the Ten of Pentacles. What we see is a receptive card on top of it. And it's nicely connected, water energy here, saying, I'm ready to receive. I don't have to be the caretaker for everybody else. I don't have to sacrifice my happiness or my well-being or my time or my energy for everybody else. I'm going to be open to receive some care. And I mentioned the importance of being less rigid. This is stubborn, sometimes to a fault. So when it comes to thinking and opening new things up into your life, you want to be more open. The seahorse is special because the male seahorse carries the fertilized eggs. And what this shows is that we can be a nice combination of what we see at the center, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. You don't have to be either or. So you can be sensitive and sort of assertive. You can be focusing on the practical and also on the creative. It's blending, it's finding the middle ground. And when it comes to business endeavors this month, you're going to have to be able to see it from both perspectives, not just the finance, not just the creative. Good leaders can see the big picture, and that's kind of what we're getting so far. All right, now let's shift this into a more focused view on three major categories here. We're going to look at those that are working. This also includes those that are entrepreneurs. Then we'll move on to those that are job seeking, and then we'll take a look at all of you that are retired or students. Starting off with those that have a traditional 9-to-5 style job. Some of you are kind of tempted to just make sure that this is where you want to be. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to leave. You just might be looking around and saying, what am I missing? Am I missing anything? You may also want a change in your current job type. You might just want to say, you know what, I've been doing this particular role. Is there a chance for me to step to this path, or like within the same company? It could be a transfer, it could be a lateral move, a chance to just see something different and experience something different. If you position this as a growth opportunity and really start the conversation off with, I value being here. We can see this. I've brought a lot to this organization. I'm hardworking. I'm dependable. I see myself here for a while. I'd like to try something that helps me, connect more to whatever it is that you want to receive here. But particularly for some of you, it could be the creative side. I need to be more creative. I need to be more active. I need to take more of an ownership role because we have 3 court cards here. Whatever it is that you seek, you have to speak it into existence. But when you have a chance to articulate it, there could be follow through. It may take a little bit. This 8 of Cups could say, this could be someone saying, I can't do it right this minute, but I can give me 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 months, and we're going to make it happen. And we actually do get a manifestation card here. So some of you may be frustrated with the speed. This is a slow working card, but it is a card of abundance. So give it time, start to create what you need to make this happen. But I actually feel like if you want to mold, shape, or change your job into something new, you don't necessarily need to leave. Okay, so that's one read for those that are currently working. There is a challenge for everybody that has a 9-to-5 job, and that is either being seen and heard or acknowledging and thanking others. And I think it's a little bit of both. Some of this may be a part of the environment in which you work because maybe leadership doesn't always do that. They're just used to sort of sitting in their tower and, barking out orders. So what you want to really do is foster that sense of community and family in at least the group that you work in the most. That being said, you are doing a great job right now because this shows appreciation, this shows the quality, and this shows a reward. So keep in your swim lane with respect to that and keep doing it. My crown chakra just lit up. I really do feel like some of you are just on the precipice of getting some sort of a promotion or a raise. I also think it's good to ask. Let's not wait for the manager to do what's right. Let's say I've been working hard. I'm looking for developmental opportunities. I feel like I'm ready for this. What do we need to do to bring this into action? It's good to be outspoken. It's not too pushy. That's not demanding. That's asking for an action plan, saying let's collaborate and make this work. Now, if you get pushback at that point, you should absolutely look around. But I feel like there's a lot of persuasive energy that you bring to the table. So exercise that first before feeling like you have to look somewhere else. Okay, now let's move on to job seekers. Yes, you can find something, absolutely. For some of you, it could be going back to a place that you worked before, but you're bringing a richer experience this time around. Like you've done a lot and you're coming through with king and queen cards. So no longer, some of you don't need to kind of go into a junior role. This is a much more senior opportunity. That's what you should be seeking if you go back to something that you worked at before. And sometimes you have to do that. You have to leave, get job experience, come back to an old company. You can enter in with a higher pay scale and a higher title. And it's so frustrating that sometimes you have to leave in order for that to happen. But for those of you that have already left in your job seeking, don't negate a positive work environment now with a new set of skills, especially if it's been 3 or 4 years. But check in and make sure that you like where the company's at right now. I also think that there could be some challenges in getting your resume seen and heard right now, because these 8 and 2 of sword cards basically indicate that it's sitting in a pile. Or, I was reading something, maybe I heard it on NPR, but there was a manager that was frustrated that there wasn't any, applicants coming through. They put their own resume in and immediately got rejected. And they realized that the AI and the software was rejecting all applicants without actually scanning it because of some issue in the code. So if there's a way to circumvent the traditional channel and network, especially if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone, because we have 3 degrees here, use that connection, a human connection that can help you get it to the right person and decision makers rather than arbitrary online applications. So for some of you, this could be in, just someone that a friend, a neighbor, a family member. This card I normally associate with alumni. So this could also be someone that you went to school with. Close family or alumni, whatever it might be, lean into that, because the present resume, don't take the rejection too much to heart. I don't even know if anyone saw it. So when it's time again, like if you see another job at that company, in the next couple of months or quarters, maybe reapply. But something about the current, actually someone could be on leave. There could be someone that is taking a vacation, a holiday, or a medical leave, and they're not even receiving that. So that's why I think you need to find a different point person. And at some point, I like to take rejection as protection. There's something better. 3rd time's a charm, 3rd attempt, 3rd application, and also distance is better. Like I've been seeing and saying this, I feel like ad nauseum, but notice how he's looking across the shore towards something else. So look beyond your border, your industry, or what you've done. And even if you've had a handful of rejections, again, it could take a few attempts. Don't give up. Be persistent. Try 3 different methods, trying to call on the phone, trying to email, trying a networking event, or a person that could get in touch with someone. Then let it go. After that, focus on something else. It could also represent, again, a period. We got 2 8s here. There could just be, it could be a week, it could be a couple of months where it's just going to sit for a bit until they're ready to move forward. Because sometimes people advertise for a position, but they don't really want to fill it immediately. They have an arbitrary amount of time and they're trying to get certain amount of applicants before they're ready to pull the trigger. So to me, it looks like it might be a couple of months. So don't give up. If there is a better offer that comes versus that one that you're waiting for, I would take it, because it does feel like the first is going to be the best here with the 3 of Wands. Okay. I don't normally say that, but I do see that here. Also something creative. Because we have this creative card touching all of the money or power cards at the center. Okay. Let's see. I think I neglected to take a look at entrepreneurs, so we're going to do that right now. For entrepreneurial energy, here's what I see. If you own your own company, I think you're actually missing an opportunity to capitalize on something, an idea, or something that customers want. It might be a good time to put out a survey or to solicit some ideas, ask customers what they like, don't like, etc. Get an external POV in. We have this perspective card. So there could be even just an expert when it comes to how you're organizing your money, your human resources, or even just your social media. An outside perspective could help you. I do like all the center cards though. Looks like you're going to have a nice final quarter of the year, but if you can, this could also just be customer service might be lacking a little bit because people don't feel like they're being seen and heard. So anything that you can do to appreciate customers, tap into their ideas and feedback, and make sure that you're anticipating the next quarter. This 3 of Wands could be the next quarter of the year. That's important. All right, so kind of a little bit out of order. We looked at those that had a job, then I looked at job seekers, then I looked at entrepreneurs. Now let's take a look at students. For students right now, it's probably one of the best spreads for students. This represents planning to possibly study abroad because we see a distant shore. We have 2 of these. It may not be feasible until next year or whatever, but I like that you're planning ahead, 2 to 3 semesters from now. That gives you time to make sure that you've got everything organized. Other things, I really like your overall, I like the student life. I like this is probably your major, and it just feels like you're being set up for success here. The only thing that's kind of interesting here with the 8 and 2 of Swords is this feeling of, maybe you don't realize like or maybe you may not feel like you're a part of the in crowd or whatever. And like I said earlier, I don't think that matters per se. When you get out of school, people are judging you on your skills. So, but if you're feeling like an outsider and you need to plug into a group, a social group or something like that, work with the student union, see how you can kind of like connect to that. But this other one is more important. And that is what comes after this. What's your long-term career goal? If you're struggling a little bit or trying to understand how your major is going to somehow get you a job in the long run, talk to people who are in the school, talk to people who have had this major and graduated, get internships, not just study abroad, but also internships. Both of these are going to be advantageous. And I would say those were the most important things that I did. Yes, the core curriculum set me up for success, but I did, I'm trying to think if it was like 3 internships, but all of them were just amazing and really helped me know what I wanted and didn't want. And then also I studied abroad, and that also solidified where I wanted to live, where I wanted to work, what I wanted to do. Get out of your comfort zone, back to the whole cactus metaphor, and try something different. A lot came through there for students. Retirees. Some of you are trying to figure out what's next as well. This is why I group students and retirees together. So travel could be a great way to figure that out. None of these have to necessarily include getting on a plane. This could be a local excursion. This could also be making connections from different city-states, countries, or provinces and getting that outside perspective as well. And just trying to broaden your network, because across the board here, we see a lot of networking, a lot of new people coming in. So you can make new friends, new love interests if you're looking for it. And even if you're not looking for work, people may approach you for advice and for leadership because your skill set's pretty unique here. So there's a lot also coming through for those who have retired. By the way, writing loud and clear here with the Page of Swords, whether it's creative writing, a memoir, journaling, all of that is coming forth. All right, let's move in to love and relationships and have tea with the birds. This makes me laugh a little bit. This kind of reminds me of the 3 of Cups in tarot, or at least the 2 of Cups, making a little bit more time for friendship, for love and relationships. It perfectly connects with all of this. For those of you that work really hard, for those of you that are just constantly on the go, this is an invitation to kind of connect with the Hanged Man energy and slow down and see who might be paying attention to you and what might be available to you. Now let's break it down. We're going to look at 3 categories. We'll look at those that are first in a relationship, then those who are seeking love, and then those who are single and happy. Let's begin with those of you in a current relationship. I really love the 10 of Pentacles here. This shows the lengths that many of you have gone to really create a firm foundation. The Queen of Pentacles representing someone who has basically also shown up, done their end of the bargain. I like that. 9 of Pentacles also just the level of investment here. So I definitely see one partner doing their part. Now, what's interesting here is it feels like there's a lot of sensitivity. I can almost connect this to the same person. And so there's a lot of heart, there's a lot of soul that goes into this. But one partner may be a little less communicative and a little bit more on the receiving end, like, bring it on. I expect this. They've gotten too used to this this really great energy of nurturing. So what the opportunity, and it could cut both ways. We're not pointing fingers here. Both of you may be really good at doing one thing in the relationship and the partner's taking the other partner for granted, because we have two blindfolded cards. So all that needs to be done in this situation, because you're both bringing something great to the equation, is a little bit more communication. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles, it has a better kind of like capacity for this. The King of Wands could be a little bit harder for in the deep past. But know this, a simple thanks goes so far, or I appreciate that you did that. All of a sudden, you're showing, I see you, I appreciate you. Here's the frustration from one partner's perspective. They're like, I'm showing you this, I do this, why do I have to say it? Because everybody communicates in a different way, because everybody's love language is a little bit different. So if you have a partner that needs to hear something, just say it. If you need to hear something, let your partner know that it means a lot when they say it. So modeling behavior, positively affirming when things are going well, and then in the kindest and most sensitive ways, speaking up and just saying, I really need to know that you heard this or that you saw this. If you could just confirm it, that'd be great. Like empathy and direct energy. That's what we're really getting at here. Some other things that could be coming through in existing relationships. You may actually be seeking an external perspective, like a therapist, to help you work through some challenges. I think it's beneficial. Literally, that's the catalyst. That's helping you solve some of this. Like, I don't understand why my partner wants this, or I don't know why I do this. Someone else can help you kind of create a tool set for being more successful, okay? I have good news for you. Your outcome is pretty satisfactory here with the Three of Wands. If you put the work in this month, positive outcome. If you don't, it's a little bit more of a stalemate, and it's going to come back eventually, okay? Finally, before we move on to those that are looking for love, this can represent the advantage of just getting out and having a vacation, a holiday together, something of that nature. So get out, explore, have some fun, make a plan, and maybe within the next 2 to 3 months here with the Three of Wands. One other thing that could be creating some stress even though it might be welcome, is the addition of a new family member. So it could be a baby, it could be a pet. As we know in the very beginning, there can be rose-colored glasses, and then the reality of this is going to take some work also comes in. So be there for one another, and you can work your way through this. You may actually, we see more than one person here, so this could also be the addition of a babysitter or a nanny, or possibly even a family member that comes in and helps you through this transitional period, okay? The only thing that is a little tricky here could be also someone from the past. So there could be an ex that comes into the picture, or someone that's trying to kind of like weigh in on the situation. You could let them know that there's a time and a place for that. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look now at those of you that are looking for love. Can you find it? Yes. You have almost too many options here, but I'm going to try to break it down. I usually like to leave the past in the past. It feels like with this King of Wands, there's something that was left unsaid. Some of it could just simply be that it's over. This could be an on-again, off-again person who you periodically will connect with, but it doesn't go anywhere. So it feels like this needs to kind of stay in the past. Or someone that doesn't take a hint when you try to tell them that you've moved on. So be explicit. I'm not interested. Please stop calling. Or be explicit, like, I really want to give this a try, but nothing in the middle, no stringing along. That's the main thing here. There are better presenting energies than what's in the past, and that's why I'm more preferential towards that. There's one person that some of you have already met or just about to meet, and so with the Queen of Pentacles, this is someone who is grounded, stable, and very clear on what they want. At the very least, they want a relationship that's going to stand the test of time. They're interested, not even so much in dating, but they're like, I just want to find my person. They also may want a family, but it's not always one and the same. We just see someone who knows what they want. Listen to that. Don't try to change them. There's also someone here who is just really passionate, and they may find their way to all of this, but the most important thing is they need to feel it on a heart level. So you have a water sign, you have an earth sign coming through. I'm reading this more as being clear than another sign per se. So leave the past in the past, but resolve whatever you need to, and you have two differing people that are presenting. The way that they come through is kind of unexpected. It could come through a family event or a work gathering. It could also just be someone that you bump into as you're just living your life. So I feel like being very tuned in and tapped into the environment is key. Look around, see who might be checking you out while you're grabbing a coffee or getting, I keep seeing like sweets. I don't know if there's a party or you're getting some like donuts or something, but, or maybe it's just their spirit showing me that it's sweet. But while you're running an errand or living your life, someone could be trying to check you out. Be open to that if you're single and looking. Travel is also very great right now. If that's something that you want to do, taking a trip, you could meet someone on that trip. All right, for those of you that are single and happy, first of all, good for you. You are not alone. You don't need to be alone unless you want to be alone. There's so much court card energy that's coming forth. I think the key thing right now, it'd be a great time for education. It'd be a great time for extending your network, meeting new people. You're financially and personally thriving when it comes to development. If you can afford and if you are ready to take a trip, do it. Nine of Pentacles, you've done what you need to typically when this card comes through to have a little splurge. Unlike the Nine of Cups, which is sometimes overdoing it, at Nine of Pentacles, I'm like, you don't need my advice, just budget it in and take the trip if you need to. And let's see what else is coming through here. I just feel like the next 2 to 3 months, taking you all the way even possibly into January, it's looking really, really solid for you. So have some fun, network, definitely have time to really focus on the relationships right now, the friendships. That's the core energy that wants to present itself. Let's move on now to your destiny card. So almost the perfect segue of what I just said here. We have my dear friend, and it's almost like two on the nose because there's a deer. But be that as it may, this is a chance for some of you to prioritize or focus more on a core friendship. Love doesn't always have to do with just, partnership. It can also be, someone in business or a great friend or just new alliances. So it feels like many of you are welcoming in that kind of energy right now. And like I said, if you're adding a little bit to your family, it could also be in the form of a pet. Let's see if Apollo's still behind me. There we go. He's just chilling out. So this also comprises that energy of friend, man's best friend or human's best friend. So however you want to open up to it, I feel like that's also going to help you thrive in the next part of your life. So putting a little bit more energy into relationships is key. Let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into sun, rising, and moon sign messages and see what Spirit has to say. Aries, sun, rising, and moon. All right, let's begin with sun first. Knight of Pentacles. So we see things moving at a decent clip when it comes to a project, an idea, improvement when it comes to your finances. And I was giving that card a hard time, but look what we see here. There's a deer. These are very different decks, but I can't ignore the deer. So I want to talk a little bit about a deer when it comes to like a totem. I've never seen that. There's also one in the background. So partnership, first of all, we see two deer on this card, but they are easily scared, right? And if you make a sudden move, if there's a loud noise, for those of you that have ever lived near the woods, you'll see the deer just kind of jolt and go in a different direction. Be mindful of not acting too quickly on a financial decision. This is a financial card. Be mindful of not sort of jumping into a relationship too quickly. All of these things are really, really important because then you're not going to have to retrace your tracks. Slow, steady, easy, calm, measured. That's what I'm getting from the deer, especially on this financial card. I've used this deck for probably a decade, and it's the first time I've paid attention to it, but I think it's because I was just making some smart remarks about this. Now it's coming through. Also, because we're looking at finances, be careful of getting too chummy or familiar with your financial advisor, for those of you that might have it. This is going to help you from kind of getting caught up in the moment. If someone is just saying, oh my gosh, you should check this out, and you guys hang out or something, and you're in this sort of like familiar phase, it could cloud your judgment. We don't want that to happen. All right, that's everything for Knight of Pentacles. As we take a look here at the rising sign, the High Priest came through. This is the Hierophant in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. This represents your ability to set order to chaos. So it's basically saying in this moment in time, lean into your organizational skills or bring someone into your life that can help you get organized. And in doing so, this is going to help you continue to leverage all of those great money cards that we had crossing the center. There could also just be an arbitrary gatekeeper, someone that has to give you a rubber stamp of approval. And know when like sometimes you can find a different route. Sometimes you just have to go and get that approval. So knowing when to fight and when not to fight and just to kind of do what's expected, this is kind of what this card is indicating. Finally, when it comes to starting your own business or being an entrepreneur, the high priest or the hierophant is very capable of doing that. In fact, some of you don't like being told what to do. So if there's a place that you can go where you're given more authority, or if you're ready to launch your own sort of platform or business, this card is absolutely confirming that. Overall, very stable card and a great card for leadership. Finally, moving on to moon sign, taking the first step, the Fool card. It's the third dog that we've gotten on this as well. I'm looking to just make sure I didn't miss something. But yeah, we have 3 dogs. We have it on the Queen of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, and now on the Fool. So there could be a new animal entering into your life. We also when I see that, it's about loyalty. So the thing that's going to help you feel emboldened and prepared and at ease with doing something is that sense of, I can trust this person, right? The Fool is a reset. So you're letting go of old stuff and just saying, I'm going to turn a new page. The past is in the past. Let's make this happen. All right, let's move on now to the very last card that I'm going to be looking at. This is any question that you may still have that I haven't had a chance to answer. Go ahead and send that question out into spirit. I'll shuffle the deck here and we'll see what is coming forth. It's a yes. If you ask me a yes or no, an Ace of Swords is a yes. It's basically a card of action. So this is the second time, because we had speaking it into existence or taking overdue action. Now we have, again, the next step here. And we just looked at the Fool. So it's time to act on something. Also, it's a great time for those of you that want to get it in writing to put it in writing. Signing a contract, creating a proposal or a pitch, creating some sort of a written a prototype or something like that. All of that is very much coming through. This is a return to vitality and inspiration. If there's something that really gets your mind, body, and spirit, going on all cylinders, it's a yes. So now is the time to take action. Good luck on that, and really embrace the opportunity. We saw a lot of great developmental cards. I know you guys were the last to get your reading this month, but I think you have one of the best when it comes to development and opportunities, so it was worth the wait, I think. All right, let's go ahead now and wrap up. If you enjoyed this, one way to show some love and support is simply to subscribe. If you've been a longtime viewer, remember to like and also leave a comment. Let me know what connected or resonated most with you, and I appreciate that. You can also give me a follow on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms. A reminder that I do not give any private readings, nor do I send direct messages asking for things. So that's a great way to know the real from the fake. And you can always go to my website as well to make sure that you're looking at the right social media handles. If you want to show some love and support, you can also do it through a super sticker, super chat, and membership. All of these things actually help the channel grow, and I can do new types of videos and extra ones. I was able to do like 3 or 4 bonus videos this past month. So you showing up and helping me out gives me the time, energy, and resources to do more cool stuff. So thank you. I think Apollo's behind us. He is. We're going to wrap up here in just a second by scratching his head. But again, I just want to say thank you for being the absolute best part of what I do here on YouTube. Wouldn't be here without your love and support. Let's say goodnight to Apollo, and then we'll wrap up. All right, everyone, have a great month ahead. Make sure to check out my weekly and daily videos as well, and all of the special ones that I do with the moon and everything like that. Again, take care until I see you next time.